Hello YouTube, this is Alex, the eclectic one, and in this video I want to talk about being gay. Now I know what you're thinking, like, why does the entire world need to know that you're gay? Or as Ben Carson would say, why do you have to flout your sexuality? It's unnecessary, why does it matter? Just because gay marriage has been legalized in all 50 states does not mean that homophobia is basically gone. It's still very much alive. And people are so ignorant about, the LGBT community and being gay and gay sexuality in general. And I guess I'll start off with talking about, my personal experience of being gay. So, I realized that I liked girls when I was, maybe 6 or 7 years old. And, I remember when I was in middle school, I actually told someone that I thought that I liked girls, but because, being gay was so, widely unaccepted when I was growing up, and especially because I grew up in a very, conservative, mostly black and Latino neighborhood, and just the topic of being gay, didn't really come up that much when I was a kid. And I remember when, I found some journal entries that I wrote when I was growing up, when I was still in middle school, and, most of it consisted of me talking about how, I'm not gay, I don't like girls, I'm just, really attached to girls, and maybe my feelings aren't, what I think they are. And, yeah, I thought that for a really long time when I was younger. Then when I got to high school, well, this was partially middle school and high school, I would hear people saying things like, oh, it's okay to have, gay thoughts just as long as you don't act on it. And I just think to myself, okay, but what if I do want to act on those sexual impulses when I get older? How is that wrong? Straight people get to act on their sexual impulses all the time, and they don't get criticized for it, or they're not called, evil, or sinners, or things like that. And, yeah, this really frustrated me when I was growing up. I think that I didn't accept my sexuality until I was, maybe 18 or 19 years old. Me in high school, I remember when I told my friends that, I was struggling with my sexuality. I mentioned this in my video about being an atheist, that she thought that the solution to me figuring out my sexuality was to go to church, which I thought was really stupid and kind of insulting because it didn't do anything for me. I've been going to church for, over maybe 15 years or something like that. And, yeah, going to church never taught me anything about being gay or my sexuality, so I don't understand why anyone would suggest going to church or praying more or talking to God in order to figure out their sexuality. It just doesn't make any sense. I think that if a person is struggling with their sexuality, you should have them go to an LGBTQ center and talk to a counselor or something like that. That stuff actually help, but recommending that a person go to church or whatever, or participate in any religious activity, that doesn't help anyone. Another thing I want to talk about is my coming out. I think when I was maybe 18 or 19, I first came out as being bisexual because I thought that I still liked guys. But I actually dated a guy that I thought that I liked, and then I realized that my feelings weren't love, they were something else. He was a really nice guy, we had a ton of stuff, we had a ton of stuff in common, and I thought that I liked him, but I found out that I didn't. Because the same feelings I had for girls at the time, and that I still have now, those feelings were a lot stronger, and those feelings were a lot more real than what I had. So, yeah, I realized that I wasn't bi. And, I think when I was 20, or, later on during the year when I was 19, that's when I realized that, I'm gay, and that I don't like guys at all. And I actually had friends, being shocked that I was coming out as being gay. And, I even had friends tell me that, oh, you probably just haven't met the right guy yet, or, oh, you're not gay, you're not this, you're not that. I actually remember when I was at a friend's house, I was watching this, channel on YouTube called, Sexuality 101, and my friend was watching me, watch this video, and she was telling me, oh, you're not one of those girls, why are you watching that? And I was thinking to myself, how can you tell me, who I am? You haven't been friends for that long. You've been friends, since, high school. and like we don't. It's not even like we spend like every day with each other. So how could you possibly tell me who I am just like based on what you know about me so far? And I kissed my mother when I was 20, I think, or 19, like later in the year. And it took her a long time to accept it. She told me that I was going through a phase. And I remember when, I think when I turned 20, or like before I turned 20, she said that she went to an event with her job, and they gave her some stuff from the event. And one of the things that she got was this rainbow gay pride bracelet. And I guess they gave her this because she has a job at the NAACP, the Legal Defense Fund, and they fight for civil rights. And I guess that's why she got it. I'm not sure, but she gave it to me, and she was like, "Well, I guess it's in the phase, so here you go." And when she gave it to me, like I almost started crying because I was like, "Wow, she actually accepts me." Because there are a lot of people out there who when their parents found out that they're gay, they kick them out of the house, or they disown them, they stop talking to them, or they say like really homophobic things to them all the time, just thinking that that's gonna help them, or like make them go straight, which isn't possible. You can't make a person straight if they're gay. You can't change anyone's sexuality or their sexual orientation. It's just impossible. But yeah, I guess another thing I want to talk about is like dealing with homophobia. Now, luckily, I haven't dealt with that much homophobia. I did have one guy who I used to be friends with. I'm not friends with him anymore. He told me like, well, if you ever want to have sex with a guy to see what you're missing, I want to be that guy. And I was thinking to myself like, first of all, like, the fact that you think that a girl needs your fucking dick, like, that really just blows my mind. Like, you're so narcissistic. Like, a lot of straight guys think that they could turn girls straight, they could turn lesbians straight. And it's really sickening. Because, first of all, like, lesbians, well, there are lesbians who enjoy heterosexual sex, but majority of us, we like vagina. Like, we like having sex with girls. I know that I do. So why would you tell me that, me having sex with you is gonna, like, benefit me in any way? Like, I'm not missing anything from being with a guy. I'm not missing anything from, like, heterosexual sex. Like, I don't want that. And, I also have a person in my family, I'm not gonna say who they are, but they make fun of me all the time for being masculine when I am gay. Now, I know that all lesbians aren't, like, feminine. I know that all lesbians aren't like masculine like me, or they don't wear guys' clothes and stuff like that. But I am one of those lesbians who, they dress more masculine. They dress like either unisex, where they wear guys' clothes, and that's me. That's what I do. That's my style. That's what I like. And he makes fun of me for, being masculine, and calls me mad, and calls me this and that. But at the same time, like, if someone accuses him of being gay because he's pretty metrosexual. He cares a lot about how he dresses and stuff like that, and he's into fashion. Yet, if someone accuses him of being gay or like too feminine, then he gets offended, which really pisses me off and is really hypocritical and makes no sense. So yeah, I do have a girlfriend, and she probably deals with more homophobic shit than I do, because one thing, she's pretty and she's more feminine than I am. And her mother is really homophobic, and she's always telling her like really homophobic things, like telling her that like being gay is disgusting and that it's wrong. And I think like one time she actually told her like you act like you never hear like these homophobic things like all the time. Well, she didn't say that exactly. She just said that you act like you never heard like these ideas before, or these stances before. And like, you could say anything, like people could say like anything like all the time and repeat it over and over again. It doesn't make it true. And another thing that bothers me about that is that people, especially religious people, like, they're always saying that, you know, being gay is a sin, being gay is wrong, and you're gonna go to hell if you're gay. And what I don't get about this is that why would you, like, take something from the Bible, because that's, you know, that's where that thought originated, and think that it actually means something. Like, it's just a book. And there are a lot of things written in books that are false. So definitely think that religious people, like, need to reevaluate themselves on that issue, because, you know, it doesn't have any bearing in real life. I mean, there are plenty of gay people who, like, there are gay people out there who, you know, they're good people, and they have consensual sex with adults. And religious people turn around and say, like, oh, well, gay people are pedophiles, like, they like children, and we don't want them around kids. We don't want them in institutions where they have to work with kids all the time. And okay, first of all, pedophiles, whenever they engage in sexual activity with kids, like, that's not consensual. Like, kids cannot consent to sex. If you're under a certain age, you cannot consent to sex. But gay people, we have sex with consenting adults. And straight people do the same thing. So, like, why the fuck do people, like, constantly compare being gay to being a pedophile? That doesn't make any sense. And, like, there are plenty of straight people who are pedophiles. Like, most people who are pedophiles are straight. So why are gay people constantly being compared to pedophiles? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And most pedophiles, you know, who are straight, like, they have sexual activities with, like, let's say it's a straight man. If they have access to, like, little boys, they're going to have sex with little boys. Or if they have access to little girls, they're going to have sex with little girls. That's how it goes. Sexual orientation doesn't play into that. What plays into that is the fact that something's wrong with them psychologically, and they have access to a certain, you know, gender of children. And I personally am not attracted to children. I'm attracted to other adults. Yeah, so for people who think that, they could just, like, you know, dispel that from their mind, because it's not true. Another thing that my girlfriend told me that she heard from someone is that I think some guy, like, at her job, or, like, who was at her job, saying, said something to her about, you know, men and women are supposed to be together to have kids. This is after she told him that she's gay. And he was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're supposed to be the guy, pretty much. Like, first of all, me and my girlfriend, like, we're not interested in procreation. Like, even straight people are not interested in having kids and, like, being together for procreation and having kids. So why would you think that, like, you know, only gay people, like, can't have kids, or that they shouldn't be together just because they love each other, and that they just want to, like, be with this one person for their entire lives and not have kids and be happy with that? Well, if you have this notion that if you're not together, you know, to have kids and, like, to procreate, that you're basically wasting your existence, and that it's not right. And one of the things that comes from is the notion that you can't have sex unless you're going to have kids. Like, you can't have sex for pleasure. Like, a lot of religious people, like, conservatives, think that it's wrong to have sex for pleasure. And it makes me wonder, like, are these people, like, really sexually deprived? Like, are they jealous that gay people get to have sex and not get pregnant? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, that's another thing that I want to mention that really pisses me off. And also, like, gay people, if they want to have kids, they can just adopt. And there's also such thing as in vitro fertilization that a lot of lesbians do get. So the fact that lesbians can't procreate, like, maybe with each other they can't, but they can, like, you know, be inseminated and have kids that way. So that notion is just false and just, like, wrapped in, like, a lot of ignorance. And I guess another thing that I want to mention is the fact that, like I said before, like, even though gay marriage has been instituted in every state now, like, there's still a lot of homophobia going on, and there's still a lot of issues surrounded in the the LGBT community that needs to be addressed, like the fact that a lot of gay people don't have access to healthcare in their states, and the fact that a lot of a lot of doctors refuse to treat people who are trans and gay. Like there are a lot of homophobic doctors. There are a lot of homophobic businesses that refuse to hire people who are gay, or when they find out that one of their employees is gay or they're trans, they fire them just on that basis. And a lot of gay people still get discriminated against when it comes to like um, adopting kids or other things like that. Like there's still a lot of discrimination going on. So yeah, I still think that talking about like sexuality, especially in the LGBT community, that still needs to be addressed. Like you can't just ignore an issue and expect it to go away or expect it to be solved. But yeah, I am glad that gay marriage is like instituted in every state now. But there definitely is a lot that needs to be done because, like I said before, homophobia is still around, and a lot of gay people still face discrimination, and it's basically ignorance. So yeah, I'm not sure what else there is to talk about regarding that, but definitely, like people still need to like tell their stories. They still need to find ways to address other things that are discriminatory against the gay community and against like the trans community and other communities within the LGBTQ spectrum. So I guess I'll leave this video with that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and bye.